Okay, my name is Sohaib Mark. I'm 26 years old. I used to play a lot of football prior to my injury. Used to take runs on the beach, cycle a lot, and what happened was it was 11 aside, football friendly. Into the first half, playing really well, a lot of possession from our team. Managed to score probably one of my best goals, literally just before the half-time break. Now, into the second half, running as you would down the wing, after taking a sudden turn to the right, I feel a buckle in my knee. Now, when there's a lot of adrenaline going through you, you don't tend to pay much attention to it. So I've carried on like nothing happened. Now, I'm no longer running, I'm now limping. But maybe due to the adrenaline, I didn't feel the pain as much. So now I've continued playing 15 minutes before I decided, no, this is probably worth getting subbed off for. As I've come off, I've mentioned to the coach of what's happened. After 2 to 3 hours, the pain really kicked in when the adrenaline wore off. So I've gone to my GP. They've advised me to get an MRI scan. Had the MRI scan, and then it was clear that I had a bucket handle tear on my meniscus. Now, from there onwards, my GP then advised me to go see Paul Dunkow. They advised me on what the procedure was going forward, that it would require surgery. From there, I was advised to see Mark Ghee, so here we are.
My name's Mark Ghee. I'm a chartered physiotherapist. I work from the Blackpool Physiotherapy Centre. My background is I have more than 30 years experience working with people in sport, particularly football, rugby and orthopaedic management of conditions. Sohaib underwent a meniscal repair. A meniscal repair is a repair of the cartilage in the knee, which is a shock absorbing cushion in the knee that is there to provide stability and cushion in weight-bearing circumstances. And that, with Sohaib, was quite badly torn. He underwent the repair under arthroscopy, which is a keyhole technique where they pass a camera into the knee to visualise the repair site, and then smaller tools are passed in a small insertion in the knee, and the repair is carried out under a keyhole. First met Sohaib quite early on following his operation for his meniscal repair on his knee. Within 1 week of him having the surgery, Sohaib was with us here at the physiotherapy centre, and we started his rehabilitation and physiotherapy programme. Rehabilitation following a meniscal repair involves generally a 3-phased approach. First, early phase of the rehabilitation, generally we're looking the first 6 weeks of keeping the patient in a limited weight bearing. So just say he was on crutches and he had a brace on, limiting his knee bend to 90 degrees for the first 6 weeks. He was touch weight bearing, which means that he was only allowed just to put his foot down, but without much weight at all. This is to allow the cartilage healing time and protect it from any damage in that first 6 weeks particularly. The brace he could remove to shower, but for all other purposes he had to keep the brace on to mobilise. In the early stages of the physiotherapy included getting swelling and pain under control. In the early stages we use a lot of ice, what we call cryotherapy, to get the swelling under control, and he performed exercises, early phase exercises, just to start to develop his initial muscle strength, early phase muscle strengthening, and also to help start the range of movement back in his knee, which was limited then up to 90 degrees of bend. We also in this phase really try and get him to emphasise good gait pattern and good walking techniques, just to prevent any longer ongoing issues with walking in the future, by encouraging him to straighten the knee and to also getting his walking pattern as well as we could. Generally, arthroscopic meniscal repairs are carried out on the younger, more sporting type people like Sohaib, who wants to get back to activity. They're carried out in the hope that they can actually preserve the cartilage in the longer term, as it has a really important function in the shock absorption of the knee and stability of the knee. The arthroscopic repairs of the meniscus generally have a very good high success rate of about 90% success rate with the younger people, as opposed to sort of the older type person who has a more degenerate type knee, in which they would be more suitable to more conservative, non-surgical management techniques that we would try initially, such as physiotherapy involving strengthening regimes and possibly certain injections, anti-inflammatory injections that the consultants would carry out. The recovery from an arthroscopic meniscal repair can take between 6 and 9 months before the patient is back to full activity. Phase 1 of the rehabilitation is immediately post-surgery management. This focuses on the management of pain and swelling reduction, maintaining full knee extension, initial early range of movement, which is generally 0 to 90 degrees. So the second phase of the rehabilitation is from around about the 4 to 12 week post-operative period. We continue to progress the patient's range of movement and strength and start to build up their endurance with different types of exercises, such as like aerobic work, like bike work, and early phase proprioceptive balance and coordination exercises being important in this stage. This phase also includes early stage exercises focused on specific sport rehabilitation and activity needs. And then we're going to go for squat and control in the squat. Good, and then back up. That's it, so we're looking at keeping that stable. Brilliant, okay. And again, we're looking at trying to control those knees out. Good, and then back up. Okay, perfect, okay. In the third phase of rehabilitation, this is generally beyond the 12-week stage to the late recovery. The activity levels with the patients are gradually increased and the patient progresses to more advanced and more sport-specific exercise. So really straighten the knee. Good. That's it. Good. So for Sohaib, in the longer term, this was a really good technique. Although it takes a lot of patience and sometimes time to get over the operation, it's certainly worthwhile in the majority of cases.